Now, to illustrate how we attach Level to the diabetes directory in your web hosting website, I have brought up a sample copy of Level, which, as usual for our demonstrations, belongs to Jerry Smith. And I'm now going to attach this first to the Fat Cow website, that is owned by Level Healthware, which is www.prettyflowers1111.com. And this website has been set up by Level Healthware at Fat Cow solely for the purpose of users like yourself to put in your diabetes folder for the first few weeks of your use, so that you familiarize yourself with how to do it before you switch over to your own website. So the way that you connect to the website is by clicking on Setups, and you choose Set Internet Data Storage. Then you choose Use, Don't Use. Currently, you're not using Internet Data Storage, so you choose Yes, you do want to use it. And what will come up are the default values that you can simply select to use. First, by default, you're being directed to the Fat Cow FTP website that is owned by Level Healthware, called www.prettyflowers1111.com. And the FTP address of that is simply the name of the website, www.prettyflowers1111.com, with the www replaced by FTP. This is the way that you create your FTP server name for any one of your web hosting websites. The account that we created there for us to use for our diabetes data is diabetes account. And the password is 100% target zone. Now, what Level will do is inside of that directory that this account has access to, the directory entitled Diabetes Directory, then Level will now create a personal folder for you by a name of your own choosing. And that personal folder is where your data set will be kept when it's out on the internet, and where it will be retrieved from in your next session. Now, in case you're the only user of this website, then you can choose whatever name you want for your folder name. However, if you're a diabetes caregiver and you're going to assign some large number of patients to this website, then you can select some kind of orderly pattern in order to assign folder names for your patients. For example, the first one might be Diabetes Folder 001, and your next patient might be Diabetes Folder 002. So for the moment, let's leave the folder name to be Diabetes Folder 001. Now, no other user besides Jerry Smith can connect to this diabetes folder. It's for his exclusive use. Now, to prevent any other user from also connecting to that folder, Jerry Smith now assigns a folder password to it that's known only to himself and to anyone he gives it to, such as his diabetes caregiver. Or if you're the diabetes caregiver and you're assigning this folder to one of your patients, then working with your patient, you create a folder password which both of you know, and no one except the two of you knows. So I have typed in the password 001 because it's easy to remember. I typed it in twice for confirmation. So now we will ask Level to connect to this account at this FTP website. A good internet connection has been found for this FTP server name, this account name, and this password. So the connection to our Fat Cow FTP diabetes directory has been made. So now Level is now searching to see whether there is already a folder out there by the name Diabetes Folder 001. It found that there is not yet one. So it asked us if we would like to create this folder and with this password. So we choose yes. And now it asks us for a name for this computer. The reason it asks us for a name is that every time a computer accesses this folder, Diabetes Folder 001, an entry will be made in its history file, and the entry will contain the computer that accessed it at that date and time. So each one of your computers should be assigned a name by yourself. This computer has been assigned the name Room 205. Level Healthware will now activate your internet data storage. Depending on the speed and type of your internet connection, this could take only a few seconds, or for slower connections, a few moments. Or if your internet connection is very slow, even longer. However, just keep waiting. In the extreme case of more than a few moments, Windows may falsely change the caption in your level window to say not responding. Just ignore this and continue waiting. So Level is now activating our internet data storage connection to this folder, Diabetes Folder 001 at our Fat Cow website. It's totally synchronizing the data in this computer with the data at that internet location now for a good start. The activation has been complete, and the current data set in this computer has now been pushed out to the Diabetes Folder 001 in account Diabetes account at Internet Data Storage Location FTP prettyflowers.com with the status checked in, and we're ready to go. So now we can use Level for whatever purposes that we want to use Level for, such as entering data, examining our graphs, and at the close of the session, all we have to do is click on Close, and it will close down. However, what I want to do now is to disconnect from this location and to reconnect to our Yahoo Small Business to illustrate to you two things. One, you can change your internet data storage location whenever you choose to. And the way you go about changing it is simply disconnecting from this one and reconnecting to the next one. So let's disconnect from this one. So we go to Setups, Set Internet Data Storage, Use, Don't Use, and now we say no. We want to disconnect. This has warned you. This will disconnect your current use of internet data storage. Proceed? Yes. It warns you again. You're electing, at least temporarily, to discontinue internet data storage. A final check-in will be taken, and you will be disconnected from internet data storage, although you may reconnect at any time. Proceed? Yes. So what it's doing now is making a final check-in back to that internet data storage location of the current data set in this computer, as you may have made some changes to it in the last few moments, and it wants to leave that internet data storage location in a very orderly fashion, so that the next time that you connect to it, it will be up to date with your computer as it is at this particular moment. So it's taking a final data storage check-in at this moment before it disconnects. So it has made its final check-in to that location on FatCow, and it now we have temporarily disconnected from internet data storage, and we're now in standalone operation. This computer is now not connected to internet data storage. You may reattach to internet data storage at any time in the future. So now we're in standalone operation, not connected to internet data storage. You might want to do this sometimes if you find that the check-in and check-out times around 30 seconds are becoming obnoxiously long, and you just want to work offline for a while. So all you do is disconnect, work offline, and then when you're ready to reconnect, you reconnect, and you choose the data set in this computer to be your beginning data set. It's moved into the internet data storage location, and it's just like you never left it at all. So now, let's connect to the Yahoo Small Business location. So we go to Setups, Set Internet Data Storage, Use, Don't Use, say yes. It appears with the same parameters as which we left it the last time. It remembers them. For the most likely scenario for your reason for having detached from internet data storage for some time was that you got bothered by the 30-second sign-in and sign-out times, so you wanted to work offline for a while, maybe some number of weeks. So you detached from internet data storage, and now you would like to reattach again. And of course, in this scenario, you would like to reattach to exactly the same account and exactly the same folder as you left. So all you have to do now is click on OK, and it will find that you still have a very good connection out there. It will still find that this folder is still existing and waiting for you to rejoin it, so you can rejoin it at that time. Now, the second reason that you might want to come here is if you are changing physicians. If you're changing physicians, you might not want your old physician to continue to see your new data. And indeed, your new physician might have assigned you a folder and an account that was different from your old one. So at this point, you would have to switch over to the account and the folder that your new physician would like for you to use. It's absolutely no problem because the current data set is in your computer. All you have to do is detach from the old one, as we did a few moments ago, and now reattach to the new one. So what I'm going to do is exercise that scenario right now, and I'm going to attach to a different server, and I'm going to attach to a different folder. So before I do that though, I would like to point out to you that when I type in this box the name of the FTP server name, there's a restriction that applies to it that does not apply when you go to your usual internet browser and type in the URL to go and view your website. And that restriction is of this type. Well, we have to cancel this for the moment so that we can minimize. So we minimize, and now the restriction to which I'm referring is of the following type. If the name of the website, and it is, that I'm going to attach to, is www.levelfordiabetes.com, when I visit that website in my internet browser, I usually put in the name of the website in this fashion. As we've pointed out several times, the FTP address that's associated with this website simply has the letters www replaced by FTP. So it assumes the form ftp.level for diabetes.com. There is one further restriction that we have to be very careful on when we're using FTP as opposed to www, and that is case sensitivity. FTP is case sensitive. Your internet browser is not. You can put in caps and lowercase as you choose. But when you go to using FTP, you must put in the name of the website exactly as you typed it when you acquired the domain in step 1 from your FTP vendor. And when I acquired this website from Small Business Yahoo, I used all lowercase. Therefore, I must type in my FTP address in exactly that same fashion. So the correct one would be also, when we created the diabetes account that we're now going to attach to, we had caps in this location. And when we made our password, we had a capital T and a capital Z. So those case sensitivities must be obeyed when you're going about connected to FTP. So let's bear that in mind and now resume our connection. I will go to Setups, Set Internet Data Storage, Use, Don't Use. I choose Yes. Okay. And now I'm going to change the name of the FTP address from Pretty Flowers 1111 to Level for Diabetes. All lowercase. Now there is an additional change when I'm dealing with Yahoo Small Business that did not apply to FatCal, and that is the way that you specify your FTP server account name. In FatCal, we simply wrote down the account name, but Yahoo Small Business has an additional requirement that you follow the account name with an @ sign and the name of the website. So that's now specified in exactly the format that Yahoo Small Businesses requires in order to make a successful connection. You will find that whatever vendor, FTP, web hosting, website vendor that you choose, they will have slight idiosyncrasies about the way they need certain things specified, and you will find those and adhere to those. The password is the same as we are using in Pretty Flowers for a Fat Cow account. We're using the same password for Level for Diabetes account in Yahoo Small Business. Now at this account I can create a diabetes folder 001, but what I'd like to do now, since I am realistically switching to a new physician in this scenario, is to have the diabetes folder assigned to me by my physician. For example, he might already have 122 patients, so he assigns to me diabetes folder 123. And then he and I have discussed together what would be a good password to have applied to this folder. And in his version of Level for Professionals, he indeed might have already applied it. So we have, between the two of us, decided what password that we would use for this diabetes folder. And of course, no one else will know it. So I'll type that in now. The purpose of the password is not that you're worried about some of the other patients of this doctor seeing your data. They probably could be less interested. It is so that your data does not get mixed up with another patient. If you did not have a good firm password to protect it, then another patient could also join this folder and their data would get mixed up with yours. So the purpose of having a folder password is not for secrecy, it's for orderliness. And it is very effective in that regard. So now what we want to do is connect to FTP levelfordiabetes.com. Indeed, a good connection has been found. And now they will search to see if this diabetes folder 123 is already in use. If not, it will be created for us. If the physician has created it ahead of us, it will already be in use, and we will simply join it. But if we are initiating the contact, then we will create it first. And if we are using a physician that's running Level for Diabetes, then we would pass on to them the folder number and the folder password that we have chosen at this point. So now we want to create this folder with this password, and as usual, for entries into the history file of all activity on this Internet Data Storage location, you assign a name to each computer of your own choosing. And a suggested name for this computer would be Room 205 computer, since that's the room that we're in. Other suggested names for some of your other computers might be my home computer, my office computer, my laptop computer. So the name has been assigned, and Level Healthware will now activate the connection to this Internet Data Storage. I would like to point out that the third scenario in which you might detach from one web location and attach to another web location is when you have finished using the company websites for the first few weeks of your learning process and you want to switch on to the one that you acquired for yourself. In that case, you would go through a scenario exactly as we've gone through here. It's extremely easy to do. You just detach from the company website and then you attach to the new one that you've acquired. So your current data set in this computer has been placed into your new folder. So there's absolutely no loss of continuity in changing physicians. So your data set in this computer is a current one, and it has now been moved into the folder that you and your new physician have agreed that you will have, and now it will be visible to them also. So we will do some activity on the session now, such as entering blood glucose levels or anything else that we care to do. And when we finish this session, then we would simply close level. And as we close level, we are now checked in again to our new website location. So this illustrates the ease of use of the level system from detaching from one internet data storage location and reattaching to another internet data storage location. It might be simply a case that you changed from one website vendor to another website vendor. It might be that you change from one physician to another physician. It might be that you change from using Level Healthware's company websites to using your own website, or it might be simply that you detached yourself so that you could work offline for some period of time and now you wanted to retouch. In all of those scenarios, we go through exactly the same steps that we've gone through here. We detach from one and then we reattach to the second.